6:12 now on this Saturday morning, which is starting out pretty cloudy in Teller County. Just talked to Larry in Divide. He's got some wind and some sprinkles or light showers. You can see the wind blowing the trees around at Peak Internet up on top of Gold Hill. And again, our wind is just going to be kind of ridiculous across the area today. And the clouds are going to help to keep the temperature from getting out of control. So we're seeing the clouds around Teller County. We have them as viewed from Community Banks and Monument as well, where we don't have much wind yet. Enjoy that while you can. It won't last much longer. And we're also seeing some pretty sunrise shots looking off to the east. This is a view from our Viera Wireless Neighborhood Weather Network camera on the east side of Pueblo this morning. Right now, temperatures are generally in the 60s and 70s along the Front Range. We're still in the 70s and lower 80s out here on the far eastern plains. Tough night for sleeping out here. Just never really cooled off all that much. 40s and 50s, though, up across the high country and into the valleys on the other side of the Continental Divide, so there is some cooler air out there, and it's that cooler air butting up against the warmer air that's going to give us the wind. And FUTURECAST is showing as we move into the afternoon, wind speeds will pick up to between, say, 20 and 30 miles an hour, and these will be sustained wind speeds. We'll likely start to have gusts that range from 40 to perhaps as high as 60 miles an hour, and those could be enhanced by thunderstorms, which we do expect to have today. It does look like the heavier rain with the storms will be focused along and west of the interstate. As these storms come east, they're going to hit some drier air, and for the plains, they're likely to produce more wind and lightning than rain, which again leads to our fire weather concerns. FUTURECAST shows some showers coming across the Front Range even through the middle of the morning. This is probably a little bit overdone on FUTURECAST, and this isn't really our main thunderstorm threat today. These will be some lighter showers, intermittent stuff that we may have like we have this morning. But once we hit about 11 or noon, I do think that some more vigorous thunderstorms will begin developing over the mountains, and they will start to come east. Notice some of the bright colors on the map. That's an indication of some stronger storms. And although we're lacking in moisture a little bit, there's probably enough out there that the strongest cells could produce some decent-sized hail as well as some strong wind gusts. We'll expect that broken line of thunderstorms to gradually make progress off to the east through the mid-afternoon hours. And there is going to be the better chance for severe weather, which is a little unusual, over and near the higher terrain as opposed to the plains, thanks to that dry air that I mentioned. So again, 1-inch diameter hail here from the interstate westward, some wind gusts over 60 miles an hour could cause some property damage. I don't think we'll have to worry too much about tornadoes with this stuff today, but certainly besides the threats that I just mentioned, frequent lightning as well as maybe some bursts of heavy rain. Won't be as hot along the Front Range thanks to the early onset of the storms. We'll hit the 80s and 90s and then start to tail off this afternoon, but we'll probably get back up to near 100 over the far eastern plains. By contrast, only 60s and 70s over the mountains and mountain valleys. Again, as that line moves east, it will tend to weaken some over the plains this evening before finally falling apart late. Much drier air will begin to work in from the mountains, and so that's going to clear things out. I think we'll be in for a crystal clear night tonight along the Front Range, and FUTURECAST is showing that through tomorrow morning. Should be a little cooler tomorrow morning, too, with the drier air, with generally 50s over the mountains and I-25 corridor. We're probably going to have 60s for the far eastern plains, but check out the high country falling back into the 30s. Highway 115 in Turkey Creek, like a lot of areas right now, a lot of cloud cover out there. We'll track more wind through the weekend. We have a front coming early next week and maybe some pretty crisp nights. So if you don't like the heat, I think you'll like our extended forecast. Stick around. We'll be back right after the break.